Wow, man. You cheated on this man multiple times. He found out. And you're talking about therapy can save the marriage? The child isn't his.
Subject: Can I share my side? I have more to say if you'll read it. Hi. I hope this email reaches you and that you'll actually read it. I know your channel is mostly stories from men, but I need to get this off my chest. I'm not asking for sympathy. I just want someone to hear me out. I've made mistakes, and I know some people will call me every name in the book after this, but I still think my side matters. My name is Ashley. I'm 33 years old. I live in Dallas. I've been with my husband Marcus for over 8 years. Well, I guess I should say soon to be ex-husband, because he's made it very clear that he wants nothing to do with me anymore. And yeah, it's mostly my fault. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I didn't mess up, but there's more to the story. It wasn't just about cheating. It was emotional, it was complicated, and it didn't start out of nowhere. I met Marcus through a friend's cousin. He was sweet, funny, and responsible, the kind of guy I wasn't used to. I came from chaos. My mom was always jumping from guy to guy, and my dad was barely in my life. So, when Marcus came around and showed me stability, I latched on to him. He worked hard, paid his bills, didn't party, didn't flirt, at least not in ways I could see. He was everything I thought I needed to build a better life. We got married in 2017. Things were good for the first few years, but over time, something changed. He got distant, always tired, always quiet. I tried to talk to him, but he'd say, "I'm just tired, Ash." That was always the answer. I started feeling invisible in my own home, like I was just a roommate who cooked, cleaned, and handled the baby. Speaking of the baby, this is where things start to get complicated. Our daughter is 6 now. I got pregnant during a time when I honestly wasn't sure who the father was. Yes, I said it. I know how that sounds. I was messing around with Marcus and another guy during a rough patch. Marcus and I had been arguing constantly, and I felt like he didn't even want to touch me anymore. I felt unwanted and rejected. So when an old friend, someone I had known since high school, started messaging me, I entertained it. It turned physical one night after too much wine. That should have been the end of it, but I got pregnant not long after. When I told Marcus, he was shocked, but happy. He just assumed it was his, and I let him believe that. I wanted to believe it too. Deep down, I think I knew there was a chance she wasn't his. But when she was born and he held her, I saw how much he loved her. I couldn't bring myself to break that. He stepped up and did everything. Late night feedings, diapers, daycare pickups, he was all in. And for a while, that made me love him even more. But something in me still wasn't satisfied. I started spending more time online, especially during the pandemic when everything shut down. I got into TikTok, started doing live streams, built a little following. Most of it was harmless. I'd go live, talk about makeup, laugh, joke, but guys started sliding into my DMs. Some of them were flirty. I didn't hide the fact that I was married. I even talked about Marcus on live sometimes, but I still liked the attention. It made me feel seen. Marcus didn't like me being on TikTok so much. He thought it was childish and said I was chasing validation. Maybe he was right, but it wasn't like I was out there hooking up with strangers. I was at home, just talking to people. Then one night, he went through my phone. I was asleep on the couch and he took it from under my pillow. When I woke up, he was sitting in the kitchen with a look I'll never forget. He had read through everything, every message, every flirty comment, every saved video. He didn't say much, just stood up, said, "I'm done," and walked out. The next week, he took a paternity test. I didn't even know until he confronted me with the results. "She's not his." I couldn't breathe when he said it. He looked at me like I was a stranger, like I was trash. He packed a bag and left. No warning, no plan, just gone. I went to his parents' house the next day with our daughter. I begged them to make him talk to me. His mom just looked at me with disappointment and said, he'll figure things out in his own time. His dad didn't even come out of the back room. Then Marcus came down the stairs and told me to leave, loud, in front of our daughter. I was humiliated. I admit I snapped. We argued in the driveway. I screamed. He screamed. He said horrible things, called me a whore, a liar, a parasite. I told him he was a coward for walking away from a child he raised. He said she was never his to begin with. I broke down. I couldn't believe how cold he was. Since then, it's been a roller coaster. He stopped paying any rent. Everything was in my name. The utilities, the cable, the lease. He blocked me on everything, but sends me nasty texts every now and then, just to make sure I know how much he hates me. He told his family everything. I've lost friends. My own sister barely talks to me. Then last month, I got served. I was at our condo folding laundry when some random guy knocked on the door. I thought it was a delivery. He handed me the papers and walked away. I dropped to my knees. It felt so official, so final. He filed for divorce, wants nothing to do with me or my daughter. Now I'm scrambling. I'm working full time, trying to keep up with rent, daycare, bills. I tried applying for assistance, but it takes time, and honestly, I got desperate. I reached out to my ex, the one who might be my daughter's father, and asked if he could help. He said yes, but not for free. I knew what that meant, and I did it. I'm not proud, but I did what I had to do. Now I'm talking to lawyers. I want to file for spousal support. I was a stay-at-home mom for 3 years. I put my career on hold. I supported Marcus emotionally when he got laid off back in 2019. I helped him recover after his back injury. I feel like I gave him so much, and now he just wants to walk away like I never mattered. I know the child support thing is messy, but he still raised her 6 years. She calls him daddy. That has to mean something. I know people will say I deserve this. Maybe I do. But I didn't cheat out of malice. I cheated because I felt abandoned. I felt unwanted. I felt like I was fading away. That's not an excuse, but it's the truth. The internet doesn't give women like me a chance to explain ourselves. We're either evil or broken, but we're human. I'm human, and I'm still trying to be a good mother, even if I wasn't always a good wife. If you think this story is worth reading, let me know. I have more, so much more. But I don't want to overshare if you're just going to toss this aside. I watch your channel. I know how brutal the comments get, but I'm willing to take that if it means someone hears me. Thanks for reading this far, if you did. Sincerely, Ashley. Subject, Part 2. Please read this too. I still love him. Hi again. Thank you for reading my first email, or at least I hope you did. After I hit send, I kept refreshing my inbox like some kind of teenager waiting on a text. I guess I just needed to feel like I wasn't yelling into the void. And now here I am, back again. I wasn't sure if I was going to write a second part, but there's more I need to say. More I need to get off my chest. If nothing else, this is therapy for me, even if the world ends up judging me for it. So here goes. Let me be honest, all the way honest this time. I didn't cheat on Marcus just once. It wasn't just that one guy 6 years ago. That was the first time, yes, but not the last. And before people jump to conclusions, no, I wasn't sleeping around like some reckless woman looking for fun. Every time I cheated, it was because something inside me felt empty. I felt alone. And yeah, I know people will say, talk to your husband, don't cheat. But I did try so many times. Marcus used to be a good listener. When we were dating, he'd sit with me for hours and let me vent about work, my crazy family, even dumb drama with my friends. But after we got married, something changed. He got complacent. Like once I became his wife, the chase was over. He stopped asking about my day. He stopped touching me unless it was for sex, and even that became rare. After I had our daughter, things got even worse. I was up at night breastfeeding, cleaning bottles, doing laundry, while Marcus slept through everything. I asked him for help. I begged him. He'd just roll over and mutter, "You got this, babe." And then in the morning, he'd act like he deserved praise just for going to work. I remember one night, I'll never forget it. Our daughter was sick with a fever. I was crying, rocking her in the living room, and Marcus was in the bedroom playing Call of Duty with his headset on, laughing, cursing, talking trash to some kid online while I was in actual pain, trying to comfort our baby. That night broke me a little, but I stayed. I kept trying. I kept hoping he'd change. I suggested counseling, but he called it a waste of time. Said we didn't need a stranger in our business. So instead, I started confiding in other people. Some of them were guys who gave me attention, guys who asked me how I was feeling. It wasn't about sex, at least not at first. It was about feeling seen. The second time I cheated was 2 years into our marriage. It was with a guy I met through a friend's birthday party. We danced, we talked, and a few weeks later, I ran into him again at a bar. I had lied to Marcus and said it was a girls' night. One thing led to another. I told myself it was a mistake, and I swore I'd never do it again. But then Marcus started drinking more, started staying out late, started picking fights. He wasn't physically abusive, but the things he said to me, they stuck like bruises. He'd call me useless, dramatic, lazy. He once told me I was just like my mother, a woman who ran through men like napkins. That one hurt the most. And when he wasn't being mean, he was being nothing, just cold, distant, like I was some burden he was stuck with. And the worst part? He was lazy as hell around the condo. I was the one cleaning, doing dishes, cooking, paying bills on time. He'd play video games all day on his days off and leave takeout containers everywhere. His socks would pile up on the floor, dirty clothes in the hallway, dishes in the sink with food still crusted on them. And if I said anything, he'd roll his eyes and say, "I'll get to it." He never did. So yes, I cheated. A third time, a fourth. I'm not proud. One of them was during a trip I took with a friend to Houston. Another was someone I met through TikTok, though we only met once when he came through Dallas. All of them knew I was married. I didn't hide it. But when you're starved for affection, you'll eat from the wrong hands. I know that sounds gross, but it's true. Now, before people start calling me selfish, let me just say, Marcus wasn't a saint either. He flirted with women online too. I saw the messages. I didn't bring them up because I knew it would turn into a screaming match, but he wasn't some innocent victim who got blindsided. He gave up on me way before I ever stepped out on him. We both failed this marriage, not just me. Still, I'm not trying to excuse what I did. I'm just saying it wasn't black and white. After he found out our daughter wasn't biologically his, he changed. And I get it. I would have been angry too, but the way he cut her off emotionally, that destroyed me. She still asks about him. She still draws pictures of our family with daddy in the corner. And I have to lie and say, "He's busy, sweetie." Meanwhile, he's out there living like we never existed. That's what hurts the most. The counseling I mentioned in my last email, I still believe in it. I think it's the only shot we have. And before anyone says, "Let it go, he's done," I just want to explain something. I know Marcus is a good man. I've seen it. He just got worn down, like I did. I think if we could get in a room with someone who knows what they're doing, we could find our way back. I'm not saying we'll be perfect. I'm not even saying we'll be happy right away. But don't good people deserve second chances? Don't broken homes deserve an effort before they're thrown away? I've typed out a letter to him. I haven't sent it yet. I guess I wanted to share it here first. Maybe you'll read it out loud. Maybe he'll hear it somewhere. Maybe not. But I need to put it out there anyway. To Marcus, you probably won't read this, but if you do, I hope you'll read it with an open heart and not just anger. I know you feel like I betrayed you. I know you feel like everything we built was a lie, but it wasn't. Not for me. Even in the worst moments, I still loved you. I still love you. I don't expect that to mean anything right now. I just want you to hear me. I didn't cheat because I didn't care. I cheated because I felt forgotten. I felt like I was yelling into a canyon and only hearing my own echo. I tried to reach you. I tried to touch you. You were already gone. You gave me a home when I didn't know what one felt like. You gave our daughter a father figure when she needed it most. And for all of that, I'm grateful. I've never said it enough. Thank you. But you weren't perfect either. You shut down on me. You stopped seeing me. You stopped being gentle. You made me feel small even when I was carrying the weight of everything at home. And I resented you for it. I hated you sometimes. And I hated myself for hating you. Now we're here, broken, angry, hurt. But I'm still standing here asking, is it really over? Is there any part of you that wants to fix it? If there is, even just a sliver, I'm begging you, let's try counseling. Let's give ourselves one last chance to say we did everything before we walked away. You once told me I was the best thing that ever happened to you. I want to believe that still means something. I miss you. She misses you. Please think about it. Love, Ashley. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I know people are going to tear me apart for this. I know some of your viewers are already shaking their heads, but I had to say it. I still believe in us. Maybe that makes me a fool. Or maybe it makes me someone who still believes in trying. Thanks for reading, Ashley. Subject, Part 3. I got my answer, and it broke me. Hey again? I wasn't going to write this. Honestly, after I sent in Part 2, I sat in silence for an hour. Then I cried. Then I started checking my email every few hours like a fool, hoping there might be a reply from him, from Marcus. I kept thinking maybe if he saw the letter, maybe if he heard how sincere I was, maybe he'd find it in his heart to pick up the phone. But I got my answer. No call, no reply, just a letter. Not from him, exactly, from his lawyer. So I guess this is Part 3, the part where the fairy tale doesn't get the magic ending. The part where reality settles in like a cold fog and you realize some damage really is permanent. I'll walk you through what happened because I think your viewers, especially the women who've made mistakes, need to hear this part too. The letter that changed everything. It came in a beige envelope with a return address I didn't recognize. My stomach dropped the second I saw the law firm name printed at the top. I opened it in my car, hands shaking. It was only 3 pages, but it felt like a punch to the gut. Marcus had formally filed to terminate parental rights. He doesn't want to be her legal father anymore. I read the paragraph over and over again. It said he was pursuing full removal from her birth certificate, all financial responsibilities, and any future contact. The letter referenced DNA evidence, multiple confirmed extramarital affairs by the mother, and the emotional trauma inflicted upon the petitioner. I nearly threw up in the driver's seat. This was a man who once cried in the delivery room, a man who held her tiny hand and whispered, "I'll protect you forever." And now he was asking a court to erase her from his life. I can't lie. I felt rage. I screamed. I hit the steering wheel so hard I bruised my palm. But once that fire cooled, all that was left was grief. Pure, suffocating grief. I had done this. I gave him the ammo. I destroyed the trust. And now our daughter, who still calls him daddy in her sleep, has no idea that this man is choosing to disappear. His message, indirectly. About 2 days after I got the lawyer letter, I finally got something from Marcus directly. A message on Facebook, 1 line. "You should have thought about all this before you kept lying." That was it. Not even signed, just cold, like a business memo. I didn't even know what to say back. I started typing a bunch of replies, deleted all of them, and ended up sending nothing. I don't think there's anything I could say that he hasn't already hardened his heart against. So now I'm sitting with the truth. He meant what he said when he walked out. There's no talking, no counseling, no last chance. It's over. Telling our daughter. This was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. She's only 6. She doesn't understand lawyers, paternity, betrayal. All she knows is that daddy hasn't called in weeks, that he didn't come to her spring dance recital, that he didn't FaceTime her when she lost her first tooth. I sat her down last night, hugged her so close and said, "Sweetheart, sometimes grown-ups make choices that hurt, even if they don't mean to." She looked up at me and said, "Did I do something bad?" And that just wrecked me. No child should ever have to question whether they're lovable because of grown-up drama. I held her and sobbed into her little curls and swore to myself I'd never let her feel unwanted again. I haven't told her the full truth. How could I? I just said that daddy's going through something hard and needs space. Maybe that's a lie too, but it's a lie that protects her. And for now, that's what I'll cling to. Legal fallout. So here's what's happening legally. Marcus has petitioned to sever all legal ties to our daughter. My attorney says the judge will likely consider it, especially with the DNA test and no biological connection. It feels so cold, like he's returning a lease, not walking away from a child who used to call him her hero. On top of that, Marcus is requesting that I pay all legal fees associated with the filing. He's using words like fraud, paternity misrepresentation, and financial exploitation. My lawyer says I should prepare for a possible countersuit. I can't even wrap my mind around that. I'm barely paying rent. I've sold furniture just to cover utilities. I know I messed up. I own it. But dragging this into court feels like twisting the knife just to make sure I feel it. How I'm trying to heal. It's weird. You don't realize how much of your identity is tied up in a relationship until it collapses. I've spent the past few weeks drifting. Some days I don't brush my hair. Other days I deep clean the whole condo at 3 a.m. just to feel in control of something. But here's the thing. I don't want to stay broken. I've done enough damage. If there's anything left of the woman I used to be, the one who used to believe in love, who used to smile for real, I want to find her again. So I've started therapy. Real therapy. No excuses. No blaming Marcus. Just me staring into my own reflection and asking, why did I self-destruct? We've uncovered some deep stuff already. Things I buried. Childhood abandonment, self-esteem issues, my pattern of people-pleasing followed by resentment. I'm learning that my cheating wasn't just about Marcus. It was about me trying to fill holes in my soul that he never put there in the first place. I've also started journaling. Every night. I write letters to my daughter. Ones I'll give her when she's old enough to understand. I want her to know the truth, but in my words, not court documents. I want her to know she was always loved, even when we all fell apart. I've stopped reaching out to the men I cheated with. All of them. I deleted every number, every DM, every trace. It's time to close that chapter. I don't want to be that woman anymore. The hardest truth of all. The truth that's hardest to swallow isn't that Marcus is gone. It's that he's probably right to leave. And that kills me. He deserved better. Our daughter deserved better. And now I have to live with the fact that no apology, no letter, no amount of counseling can undo what's been done. I read a quote the other day that said, "Some bridges need to burn. The flames light the path forward." I'm trying to believe that. I'm trying to believe that maybe, just maybe, this pain will lead me to something real. Not a new man, not a rebound, just peace, redemption, growth. I don't know what part 4 of my story will look like. Maybe it's quiet. Maybe it's just me and my daughter figuring out how to be a family of 2. But I do know this. I won't make the same mistakes again. If there's a woman out there listening who's cheating because she feels invisible, stop. Talk, leave, go to therapy. But don't cheat. You think you're escaping, but you're only building your own prison. And if Marcus ever hears this, even if it's a year from now, I just want him to know I'm sorry, truly. And I hope you find peace too. Thank you again for listening to my story, Ashley.
And you're still saying our child. No, he raised her. No. Why didn't you just divorce him? You're making all these excuses. He was lazy. He played video games all the time. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Well, if you weren't happy, why didn't you ask for a divorce? Oh, I know why. Because you wanted to use him for whatever he was doing. You didn't want him to find out that that child even wasn't his. Just shady. I hoped it was his. What? What is wrong with people? Some people are truly sick. Guys, let me know what you think about this story in the comments. I'm going to catch you guys at the next one.